Hello everyone, how we doing? You lovely people. Oh, quite a few in the chat. Ash, Heskibo, Michael Smith, Alex Deakin, Captain, the very man who's done the graphics, of course. Let's turn my phone off. Error number 1 already. David H, Jack Brokenshire. Brokenshire? Hello mate. John Shanley, Fantasy Connexton, Johan Montin, Kenny, oh god, now we're testing me. Legilblad? Sorry mate. FPL Goodman, CM Fantasy. Hello mate, hello. The man behind the videos, of course, Joe Todd. Lovely to see you guys. We're almost at the end now, aren't we? It's only a few more weeks. Where are we? What game week are we in? 32, isn't it? About to be? Not long to go. And there's been a lot of... It's been hard to catch up ground recently, I feel. I feel like a lot of the weeks have been relatively low scoring. But it's one and done. We get what we get. It's the only way to do it. And want to look back at the games here. Maybe not that low scoring. It's just there seems to be always like a big match that maybe is a little bit of a disappointment. I think Villa are obviously heavily favoured to do well. In the end, the game wasn't really that good. But Dublin still got his point. So I'm happy for the guys who backed the sim data and went there because he is an animal, isn't he? Adam Sands just want Dublin back. Yes, we will get onto that. Yeah, we should definitely get onto that. I thought the comms were excellent this week, guys. Rory did a top job. I've actually not done comms for about 7 weeks now because someone filled in my spot. So I've got comms back to back. So I'm doing this week and next week. Excited to get stuck back into it because I feel refreshed after a little bit of a break from it. So hopefully I can try and follow in his footsteps because I thought they were really good. Because it was a tough game week as well, I thought. And yeah, I just thought all the tweets were really good. So well played. Yeah, so obviously FPL's done. We've got Euros coming up. People getting excited about that. But this is a nice little stopgap, I feel. And there's still ground to be made. I'm sure we will have some crazy results coming soon. Some mayhem. It is CM after all. Yeah, Goodman class comms this week. I agree. We're dealt the hand we're dealt. You know, when you're on the comms, you have to try and make it sing, and it's a lot of hard work. So I can appreciate, especially when people are busy or whatnot. You're down and suddenly you're there at 4 a.m. You know, you just want to get it done as best you can. Some weeks you might only get a few goals, and you've got to put a lot of filler in there. But yeah, it's fun. We do it because we love it, don't we? They were so bait, as Thomas Simpson says. Yeah, they were. It's top word, to be honest. But to be honest, there's only a little bit of poetic license there. You know, everything is true to what's happening in the match report. You know, sometimes we move the goal spacings a little bit. Like for example, if you get like 7 goals in 7 minutes, then you get nothing for 30. It's not particularly good for the stream. So if it makes no effect on the FPL points, so defenders who've been subbed off and stuff like that, then spacing them out a little bit just gives a better view experience. But to be honest, sometimes we don't. I mean, sometimes you don't even have the chance to do that. You get a goal every minute and you can't even fit it in. And then sometimes you have to put a lot of filler. So it's not, I think it's nice to have a nice balance. Quite a few goals in the first half, quite a few goals in the second half, but at least some space to give some meaning and some feeling and how the teams are playing, you know, tactically, stuff like that. Because otherwise it's just goal. This is how it happened. Goal. This happened. You don't actually know how the game gets going. Any season 3 use? Not yet, Nash. Not yet. I think it's too soon to even think about it at the moment. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of seasons. A lot of commitment. I know the team are definitely keen to keep it in some way, shape or form. But we'll get to that. We've still got this season to finish. And it's tight at the top still. So loving it. Right. You obviously get the CM stats, so you'll have looked through this. I don't really pick anything out from this anymore. I did enjoy doing that. Thierry Henry, I'll do it briefly actually. Why not? I'm on my own, so I'm going to rush through it. Oi, oi, spicy haircut. Yes, Colm. Yes, I did that for a work do. And the guy who was going to pick me up to take me, because it was in Milton Keynes, just half an hour, was driving to Wales to drop his kids off for some reason or something. I had a meal booked for 8 o'clock. We're going out for drinks and everything. He says, I'll pick you up on the way back from Wales. Sat in my house waiting. Cunt didn't even turn up, did he? Messaged him at 10 o'clock. He said, yeah, sorry, I got back late. Couldn't be asked. I'm sat there in my haircut and my new shirt like a fucking prat at the front door. Had a couple of bevies already on the go. Just so depressing. I got mugged off by another bloke. So that makes a change. Man of Mediterranean. Yes. That's a funny story on that, actually, because when I obviously run the game and I sent it to Rory, obviously he doesn't need any tips on coaching and how he does the comms, but I said it's quite funny, actually, because Petit actually takes a penalty over Carboni. And although they've got a close penalty stat, Carboni has taken them over Petit. Petit used to take them before Carboni joined, but then Carboni took them. But as we've said before, when the pen stats are close, sometimes it can change even in game. So I said you can control that one. You can say a long-haired foreigner is stepping up to take the penalty. So that's all I left it as and didn't look at the comms. And then obviously when it come up and he switched it to Mediterranean. So I've really got confused with what I said, or he just thought he'd troll you with Mediterranean. Yep, stood up like a kipper. Like a kipper? Doesn't make any sense. Hello everyone, hello Frank Leboeuf. Hello mate, Benny, what a guy. Yeah, Thierry Henry did well, ended up being the good captain. Home game, top striker. So not really a surprise, but obviously 6 goals in a Blackburn game, probably not so expected. I think him and Dublin were probably still the standout captains this week. A lot of the other games, I mean, this could have been obviously a lot more there. Quite a few shots on target. Charlton Man City, again, probably could have been a few more. Charlton getting a win. Leeds, I mean, this has been like them most of the season, really. Still managed to sort of win 2-0. Fairly convincing when you look at the stats at the end, and usually score late. It's kind of, inclusive of what they've been doing all season. But this Mark Viduka off the bench thing, obviously we decided the league before we've even done this, and it's exactly for this kind of reason. Because otherwise, if I'd have decided that afterwards, that would have been massive trolling. I'd have hated to do that. So this is an occasion when knowing a team sheet can hurt you, can't it? But I mean, you can't predict him to come on in the 14th minute and then score 2 goals. But there we go. Newcastle Sunderland. I had Kevin Phillips captain because Rue van Nistelrooy didn't play. Big letdown. Did have 3 shots, 2 on target, so perhaps a little bit unlucky I didn't get something there. But yeah, Newcastle. It just goes to show you, and Newcastle are generally dreadful. Sunderland are fairly good in this game, but the sim data said Newcastle do pretty well. It's a home game. Suddenly they turn into much the better team. It isn't always going to happen, but the odds are in your favour for it to happen, and so it is. Derby and Watford, this was really the game. Yeah, Michael Smith, Leeds have kept a lot of clean sheets going on the road. They have kept lots. It's just because their defenders aren't particularly appealing, because they obviously rotate a bit and don't even get that much bonus. But they've kept a lot of clean sheets. Chelsea as well, which people are obviously catching on to now. But yeah, those two have kind of gone a little bit under the radar, I feel. This was definitely the game, though, wasn't it? To be massively high scoring. And 4 goals, decent. But as you can see, 8 shots on target and 6 on target. This really could have been anything. Petkov owners probably a little bit unlucky. 4 key passes, 1 assist, 4 shots. Yeah, so could have been a decent one. And obviously, he's a winger against Derby, so he did okay. Generally the rule, isn't it? Middlesbrough, a running theme here. Boksic doing fantastic at home. Had a fantastic season, really. He is capable of this, and this is why he's always a favourite. Age, nothing but about a number. His stats almost seem to be getting better in areas. Very good. Rickard, the away man, but both great for 8.5 million. Marinelli, did he return again this week? He did. He got an assist. So, 6 returns in 7 games now. 7 starts anyway. Seems to have now done that spot. I do think, because they often have quite a few midfielders, like Whelan can play midfield, Greeny, etc., that one of Miller or Marinelli will generally come off in a game, so you're not always going to get 90 minutes. But for 5 million, he's still a very good... I think he's 5, isn't he? 4.5 or 5. He's still decent. I think he's doing well. Chelsea, yeah, again, a clean sheet. Obviously, Desai and Terry don't turn up, so I don't actually get my double clean sheet. But 4 shots, 4 on target, 2 goals. Very efficient from Chelsea as usual. Ipswich are tad unlucky not to score, probably. Look at this, guys. I noticed this earlier. So I know I've been talking about Chelsea all season, but they now have... because whoever's on the left... Chelsea will always be on the left here, and their opponents is always on the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clean sheets in a row in all competitions. And that includes playing some tough games and even putting their B team out. Away games, home games. Constant stream of clean sheets at the moment. And this is the thing that we're always worried about with Man United, who do on occasion hit 20 to 30 clean sheets in a Premier League season and just flat out 0-0s. Sylvester obviously just becomes ridiculous. We haven't seen that in ChampMan particularly, but it's always possible, and that's the scary thing. You know, if Terry and Desai played most of these games, I think nearly most games they play, they get some sort of bonus, even attacking returns throw in. Even the fullbacks as well, they can get far more attacking returns. And Babayara got one this week, but I've seen him get up to 10 assists and stuff. They can be deadly. So the machine is working. Yeah, Tuchel got a time machine. It's almost like he's gone back, hasn't it? Right, there has been some European stuff. So we've got the results of the semi-final first leg, which Liverpool were in. As you can see there, they drew 0-0 with Celta. So away game, stunning game as you can see. Celta had all the ball. Liverpool did their job though, kept it down to a 0-0. That was their team. Owen was on the bench. Close to probably their best team they could put out. Arguably Hegem at right back, maybe Bishkan in centre midfield with Gerrard is probably what I'd do. Wingers are much of a muchness. Yeah, both teams score non-existent in Chelsea games. I did point that out last week actually. If we go even further into that, there's always a nil on one of the sides virtually. We've got one where both teams score here, but it goes back a long way like that. Look at this. 23rd of November is the last time aside from that one. Yeah. What are we doing? Liverpool. Ooh. There we go. So that was the team. And they didn't do much. As you can see, Michael Owen came on and got injured. And funny story with Owen, he was red flagged when we did the stream last week with 1 day to go before his game, a month out. Thing about shin splints, I see some people questioning it. In this game, shin splints is one of these injuries that kind of like the physiotherapy thing Veron went through, where they'll be red and then they can just change orange with ages to go. Because like shin splint, I don't know too much about it, but it's like an ongoing condition kind of thing, isn't it? So it kind of flares up and goes down. So I think that's how the game has tried to do it, is like they're red and then suddenly they're okay, they could play, and then obviously they're always in doubt of going off. Now bearing in mind Michael Owen has 20 for injury proneness anyway, that's not a good mix. So I imagine for the most of the season now he is going to be either orange or red flagged the entire time and is therefore just a complete no-go. So he could just pop up at random. We also had Man United's game against Bayern Munich, which is very significant for our chances of a triple game week. Oweners in tears. Like that, can't love it. So, this was the quarter-final results. As you can see, Man United got a 1-1 draw away to Bayern Munich. That is a very good result. Bayern obviously much more of the ball, much more of the chances. But they got a result. Agahauer, Beast, Figo, Haman, Deisler, Alba, Yanka. They should have been playing Jeremy's. They should have been playing Sagnol. Santa Cruz is better than Yanka. Don't know what they're doing, do they? But Man United got a 1-1 draw. That was the team they put out. Nedved can't play because he's cup tied. Roque Jr. with a stellar performance. Van Nistelrooy with his customary goal. No assist. I wonder who got the goal. Assist. York tries his luck. Khan parries it. Van Nistelrooy picks up the loose ball and finishes it. So they're home now, obviously, to Bayern in the next game in a decent position. So triple is looking very much on. It is looking more likely, indeed. They play that on Wednesday, the 16th of April. Another thing to flag up to you guys. The FA Cup semi-final is going to be played this Sunday. So we're on Saturday in the game, as you can see up here. Man United playing Arsenal on the Sunday the 6th. Now they don't blank this week because they play Wednesday, I believe. So Man United are playing Ipswich away on Wednesday and Arsenal are playing away versus Sunderland. But similar to last week, that means there is a game before our game happens. And as a result, there's always a chance of injuries, etc, etc. FA Cup is a much higher rep competition than League Cup. Can rep in it, but I would highly doubt that happens, especially against Arsenal. I would expect full teams there from all of them. Blackburn and Villa are also the same. So the deadline is the deadline. But I'm going to be kind to you this week in the league, because I was a bit mean last week. Didn't have time to do it properly. I'm going to do the traffic light system, which obviously gives you a lot of information, but I'm tweaking it a little bit. We'll see what you think at the end. I've already decided to tweak it a bit. So it's going to involve, not everyone will like it, it's going to involve some investigative work. So maybe it will benefit the hardcores more than the casuals. Maybe we'll overthink it. I don't know. But we'll talk about it at the end. Max in the chat as well. Hello, mate. Pirlo's beard. Keno had a shocker. Yeah. He played amazing versus Bayern. Oh, no, he didn't play versus Bayern in the final. Obviously, he played amazing versus Juventus in the famous 99 win. So there we go. I think that's all the competitions. The League Cup, obviously, you know that was tweeted out. They both played rep teams. Everyone was worried about who's going to play and everything. Yeah, nothing to worry about. It's a shitter of a game that Man United really should have probably won. Anyway, should we do the teams? That's what you're here for, isn't it? Not my sexy face, unfortunately. Luke, you ever afraid you'll accidentally click continue game? No, not with my skills, mate. Pinpoint accuracy with this bad boy. This is 12k DPI right here. Too much practice. Nah, yeah, I might do. But if that happens, because we're actually managing Brighton, all that will happen is it will bring up the screen to say pick your team, because it's not gone on holiday. So I never actually click continue game. I always just click go on holiday to make it play the matches, because otherwise I'd have to play the game for Brighton. So if I did accidentally click it, all that would happen is it would say select your team for Brighton, and that would be it. So you wouldn't get to see anything. Do we find out if it's a triple game week next week then? Let me just check that. So, no, I don't believe so. I could be wrong because I'm terrible at fixtures, but so this is 32 here, isn't it? Then we've got 33. So you will know before 34, because then we'll have the result of the Bayern game. So you will know in the lead up to game week 34 whether it's going to be a triple. I think that's right. I believe that's right. Okay, let's start with Arsenal. They play tomorrow, but that's in the FA Cup, remember? So they actually play in 4 days, away to Sunderland, and they've got a game in between. So there's only so much team news you can take on board here. But to be fair, there's nothing really going on. Upson's got 26% orange. Can go up an unspecified amount in those amount of days and be okay for it. So it could be 90%, for example, and play, but I don't think anyone's got Upson anyway. There's nothing to note. Everyone is good. Thomas Simpson, do you try and win with Brighton, or are you deliberately avoiding promotion? It's go on holiday. It's just played by the AI. I think Dave set up a formation for him to play, and I've never touched it. So what will be, will be. If there's anything you want to see in the chat, clicking on players, whatnot, then obviously put it in there, and I shall go back if I miss it, because it's on a bit of a delay. It's like 30-second delay. Okay, so there's Arsenal. Obviously of limited information, but everyone's okay as of now. Aston Villa, who also play tomorrow in the Cup, remember, but then actually play when we care in 4 days versus Man City, have a couple of injuries. Thompson is out for a week, so in 4 days probably 90%, and therefore could play. Knee ligaments. Remember, this is like the extra info you almost get by watching the stream, because on the site he is going to be red flagged. People won't expect him to play, and he probably won't, but if he does, you'll know why, because he's probably gone orange. And then here is the man Dion Dublin that was already tweeted out. The guy with 17 goals in 21 starts. Making a mockery of his 6 million tag because he's turning up. He's out for 10 days with a twisted knee. So, given they don't play until 4 days, that would put him 6 days away. Quite often they turn orange when there's 7 days to go, but it depends on the injury. So there's an outside chance he could play injured. I doubt it, but I suppose the chance is there. Is there a suspension restart? Yeah, so it does go up to 10 yellows rather than 5. I think usually it's after they've, rather than, I believe, and I could be wrong, it's when they've actually hit their 5 and they've served their ban, then it goes up to 10 rather than being a date. But again, whatever the rule was in real life in 0102 or 02, because that's when the game was really made, I think, will be the rule in this. So you'll have to Google it, but I'm not sure. And in any case, it's clearly bugged because Desai's just didn't work. Oh, Thompson gets penalties when Devon is on the pitch. Yeah, not so sure on that because Alan Wright took them last season a lot for Villa and he's got a 0 for pens, I think. So his is definitely high. Don't know what Thompson's is. No idea. Maybe he has 0 as well. Maybe he has got a high number. So that's one to watch out for if he does play. Okay. Let's move on. Blackburn. Again, play Villa tomorrow, but we don't care about that particularly. 4 days they play at home to Leicester. It says Gary Taggart is suspended for that game, so he won't be playing. Solano is still red 3 weeks, so very unlikely to see him. Everyone else is okay. So again, of limited info. Of course, Dublin, this is Pirlo's beard. Of course, Dublin gets injured this week. The week I finally bring him in, as if bringing in and captaining Dyer in the same week wasn't bad enough on its own. Yeah, I feel for guys who did that really, because the Sim Fantasy show Dyer went crazy in that game, and he really could have. We just don't know because he went off so early. But the fact that Newcastle won 3-0 suggests he probably would have got something, and it was a good move. I really don't like captaining midfielders though, even when the sim data is that good. I just think forwards are too good in this game, but that's just terrible luck. There's no other way to put it. So, let's get on to some teams that we actually can sort of trust the condition, etc. Bolton, they play today, the moment we hit go on holiday. Home to Watford. I think this is a pretty damn good game for them. And we have some good news. Everyone's okay. Franderson's out for 2 weeks with broken ribs, but he is orange, so therefore could feature. But everyone's fine. So Rumberg, Wallace, Pedersen has been doing a little bit better of late. Schimmiker 4.5, Gardner. There's a few options. Even Pitts is playing every game and seeming to do okay. So there we go. Not bad. Wally's not done anything for ages, but I don't expect him to do much at 4.5 million midfielder. However, he has been on a lot of corners because Fox hasn't been playing. So he got a lot of those assists in a small window and he's not done anything for a while. Due, hopefully, for my team. Right, Charlton, they play tomorrow away to Liverpool. Very tough game for them. Andy Todd, who's been turning up randomly, is a few days 90%. Greg Warren is 87%. He's not getting a look in though, unfortunately for him and us. Luke Young's 91. All these guys should be fine. Jason Neal's 93, but obviously that will be 98, if not more, up to 100 probably. So there's no issues there. Powell is suspended at left back, so Konchesky, Al Joffrey, one of those guys will play left back. I would have thought. Chelsea, 2 days till they play. Home to Middlesbrough. Dinter doesn't have tough games. He doesn't, does he? He's a bit of a legend, to be honest. He's done very well whenever he's played, considering how shit that team is. Chelsea, okay. Desai is 100%. He's 1 yellow away from a ban from international, as you can see here. He did not serve a ban in the Premier League. The ban has vanished from thin air. It's gone. But Terry is still injured for 2 weeks and he's red. So that's me a player down again. But home to Middlesbrough. Decent game. Following the pattern, it should be a Chelsea clean sheet and a standard 1 or 2-0 win, I think, shouldn't it? Or maybe go the other way and Chelsea lose 2-0. But everyone is fine. Zenden's fine. He missed out last week. Rare that he misses out, so I expect he'll come straight back in. Unless they rep, we'll have a look at rep at the end. There's always a chance. There's no reason to say they can't rep because it is technically a rep game. It doesn't matter that it was almost a partial rep last game, or you could argue it might just be low condition, etc. Nobody puts Fatty in the corner. Right, Derby away to Leeds. Shocking game for them. I don't think anyone's got any of their players though, and they play today. Significant more so in the fact of if you're targeting them, I guess. But everyone else, aside from Burton, is okay. A few days, 85% knee ligaments. Why are you unhappy? Les needs to leave to further his career. You only just got here, mate. Calm yourself. Oscar at Chelsea, yeah, it's not the Oscar. It's a shit Oscar. Not that Oscar. Everton tomorrow away to Millwall. So Gravison is still 3 weeks away. I think some people may still have him. Certainly had him at one point. Unsworth, a few days, 89%. He does play tomorrow. So your guess is as good as mine as whether he features. If he does feature, always liable to come off early due to either low condition or picking up a reoccurrence of an injury. Everyone else is alright. Keritos didn't score again. I think that's 2 games in a row he's not scored now. But still 5 and 7. Vesterveld is wanted by Arsenal. Interesting. They could certainly do with him. Rip for Gravison. I don't know how you just keep coming up with them. Ipswich. So I remember 4 days for them. A lot of training days. A lot of things can change with this team. But Haridason won't be playing. First of all, he's out for 10 days with a twisted knee. And also, he's got a 2-match English ban due to his red card. So he is suspended, according to this. So he won't play. Prutton is 2 months with his groin. So he won't be playing either. And Tariko is 1 day with a groin strain. So he'll be marked as orange, but he will be 100% and fine. Unless he picks up another injury in training. Oscar knocking on the door as long as he doesn't shoot through it. My missus put on the Blastorius documentary and I watched like 20 minutes of it where it's like showing you pictures of him as a kid and looking innocent and stuff, and it's like, yeah, but everyone does. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that he hasn't shot his missus. I think most of the information points towards he has, right? Let's not get political. I love that though. They just start off like, yeah, we feel sorry for him. He was a nice innocent kid once. I'm sure Hitler looked pretty good as a baby. Right. Leeds, big one because they play Derby at home, which I believe is a very good game. Always one of the ones with a massive potential. But today, Alan Smith, he's red, 10 days, strained knee ligaments. He won't be playing. Bridges is 2 weeks after his broken leg. So you'd like to think they'd leave him time to heal that. So he won't be playing, I think. Larson is out for 2 weeks with strained knee ligaments. That's annoying. Luca refused to believe he looked cute as a kid. Yeah, no, fair enough. I'll give you that one. I was just thinking if I had a picture of a kid in here, but there is a reason I might have it here, but I don't. What's with all the groin strains down in Suffolk? Been at the local Razzers in Ipswich. Oh, God. Not with that accent. I wouldn't go near anyone in Ipswich. Put me right off. Half my family's from Ipswich, so I can say that. Yeah, Larson's done as well. So, at least that kind of narrows our options. You now would have to think that Viduka is playing and is a standout pick. Robbie Keane up front with him? Probably. Would be my guess. So it could be a cheaper route if you can't afford, if you're looking to target this game but you can't get to Viduka because he's expensive. Robbie Keane. I think that's a good one we go. Obviously they could play one of these kids, but even then I think Robbie Keane would probably be AMC unless they rep. Simon Johnson 4.5. Yeah, I wouldn't put him in their first team though, so I think he only plays if it's a rep game, to be honest. Plus, he's got decent off the ball, but he's not that good. Viduka effective ownership 5,000%. Yeah, I don't know what it's hard to, when you're not playing the game, it's hard to pick up on the trends of what people will actually do. Like, you know, I'll do this, then I'll run the sim tonight. I'll think, oh, that's interesting. And then as the week progresses, I see where people are moving afterwards. I'm like, oh, right, okay. Like, that's kind of how it works for me. So, I'd have thought Viduka's a good target because I think they've got pretty good fixtures from now to the end of the season. But then Van Nistelrooy, a lot of people don't have, but then they've got a blank. So, do they go back to him? I don't know. Can you afford Henry, Viduka, Van Nistelrooy? Probably not. So, I don't know. Amongst active players, I imagine he'll be quite heavily captained though. Rob Keane. Robbie all day, mate. So Andrew and Andy Cole in it. Fuck off, mate. You're Andy Cole. There's nothing you can do about it. Leicester. 4 days till they play Blackburn away. Lot can change. Scowcroft is a few days 90% orange, so he should be 100% and fine. So he's not had a good season by any means. Perhaps a differential of some sort. Although away to Blackburn is probably not a game you want to buy him for. Away to Watford, home to Derby, home to Leeds, Man City, Sunderland, Millwall. That's actually a pretty good run. I didn't realise that. So aside from this Blackburn game, you'd only really say Leeds is bad, and that's a home game at least. So maybe there's some Leicester differentials. I'll try my best to sell you some. Luke, how do you deal with the dead team ships you can't use? They just get wasted. Don't get to use them. Taggart suspended, as we already saw, for 2 games. Liverpool. Another good game to target, probably. They play tomorrow, home to Charlton. Owen is back red, as you saw. A month for shin splints. But as their game is in a day, perhaps he goes orange and comes on, starts. I don't know. I think it's safe to assume he won't play. I don't think you can be 100% certain on that, though. You can see some of these guys have got fairly low, but they should be... I mean, the ones that play anyway should be up. Lippmanen is also a few days sprained ankle, 90%. So I think that means you can be pretty confident, at least, that Fowler and Heskey should start this game. They started the last one. I feel like Fowler and Heskey could do some damage against Charlton. I mean... virtually anyone can do some damage against Charlton, right? Personally, I prefer Fowler out of the two. I just think he scores more goals. Not Fowler, Heskey, sorry. He scores more goals than Fowler does. So if you are targeting it, he'd probably be my tip. The game likes the big bruises up front. As you know, it's great. Most of the goals of headers comes from crosses. your Dublins, your Shearers, your Vidukas, your Van Nistelrooys, really good in the air, powerful forwards. They generally do better. So that's the way I would look at it. Man City. 4 days until they play Villa. Everyone of note is fine though. Man United. So bear in mind they play Arsenal first, and then in 4 days they have Ipswich. At the moment, Beckham is out for 10 days. So that's looking good for Chadwick. Yeah, unless he's orange and then plays in 4 days. But you'd have to put Chadwick as favourite, wouldn't you? He's been favoured above him most of the season, so no reason why he shouldn't. Nedved's 100%. Now Nedved, I'm pretty sure can't play in the cup. Let me see. Does Nedved say? Doesn't say anything about that. Could be wrong. I'm not sure on that one. Did he sign by then? Oh, he played in the cup here versus Leeds. So scrap that. He can play in the cup. Thoughts on Bartes for the wild card? Yeah, I saw Andy Martin mention that because obviously it just serves the purpose of having a third Man United for the double or triple, and then in the blanks you can just play like Brannigan or someone, so it stops you having to use transfers. I think if you don't have chips and stuff, it kind of makes sense. You'd expect them to get quite a few clean sheets in those final games, and if they rep as a result of anything, Bartes generally still plays in rep games most of the time. Not always, but he does quite often. So yeah, I can see the merit. It's not like any keepers are particularly doing good anymore. Jaskalainen was ridiculous for the first sort of 15 games. After that, I feel like it's been fairly level. Eleftheropoulos is pretty good for bonus most weeks, but they don't keep many clean sheets either. Was Beckham fit for the UCL game? So this was their game. Chadwick, Beckham was on the bench. He came on. And he got injured in training. So he got injured after that. So he was fit and just didn't play. Sylvester, 1 yellow away from a ban. Okay. Middlesbrough, 2 days till they play. Away to Chelsea. Everyone's okay. Southgate, Cepeda, Rickard, Boksic, Marinelli, Milner. I thought they've got quite a lot of options. Ethan Atherton at a stretch. Fester if he started taking penalties, but it's not been a factor really, has it? It's interesting actually. I think Middlesbrough have got the most goals. No, they've scored the most goals of any team in the league, which is pretty mad. And I can't remember them having many penalties. Fester's got 1 goal. Was that a penalty? It wasn't. Doesn't look like I've had a single penalty. Does it show you penalties on teams? It does. Yeah, only 19 teams mentioned there, so Middlesbrough are not on. The only team not to get a penalty. It's been done over. I think last season he got about 6 or 7. Did anyone see how long Unsworth was out for? There you go, few days, 89%. And they play tomorrow. So it'll be 90% 2 days away. Because they don't go over 90% when they're orange. Millwall, tomorrow. Nobody is injured. A few low condition, but should all be up to near enough 100% that are relevant. Borough have had a ridiculous season. Their front two and Zepeda and Johnston have all gone mad, and then their centre midfielders have taken over and gone mad in recent times. He is, isn't he? He's in the David Moyes, Knox and Nichols category, Thomas Simpson as well. Newcastle today away to Spurs. Everyone is okay apart from Kieran Dyer, who is out for 10 days with a twisted knee as a result of getting injured in the 14th minute. So 10 days. Where are we? The 5th. So technically back for the 15th. Misses Spurs, Liverpool, might be orange and feature against Liverpool, get re-injured, yada yada, you know the drill. Can you see Savarese? Savarese is right here. He is transfer listed by request, which does strange things, but he seems to come back in. Willie Guerrero wants first team football. But number 1 jersey, will he get it? Will he get it? Is that it? Ooh, seems unlikely. Dire news for Kieran owners. Pillow Spears just straight fuck off Kieran Dyer. Yeah, he's got really high injury proneness. You guys probably guessed that from real life. And he was injured. I think he starts the game injured when you start up a new game in this database for like 3 months or something. Bless him. Dire news for Kieran owners. Fuck off Kieran Dyer. You're putting all this work, sweating buckets into these puns, Coleman, Pillow Beer, just straight in there. Don't need to be reminded of that pain, gents. Yeah. God, I hate it when Brave moves and punts like that just don't get rewarded. It's really annoying, actually. Sunderland, 4 days until they play Arsenal. Lawson is 2 weeks away with a damaged kneecap, 32%, so I'd be surprised if he played. None of these guys are relevant, are they? Everyone else is okay. Phillips is annoyed because he got slagged off by his manager, or should be doing better or something. I can't remember what it was now. Shouldn't stop him playing though, I hope. Libra the same. Everyone's a bit annoyed. A bit depressed. I don't know why. Sunderland have got a good team. They're doing okay. Arca's okay. Still a star man. He's not pissed off. No, thinks Tome's essential. Laurent Robert has a transfer managed and still plays every week. This is true. This is true. There's no rhyme or reason to it, is there? And that's why it's hard to say anything for sure. And this is why the pricing's so hard, right? Just stuff like this happens over the course of a season that can be completely different in the next sim. Newcastle can do really well and everyone's happy, and different players might play, and it's all mad. It's all crazy. Hughes can also feck off. Ah, what, from Newcastle? Did he not do anything? He did not do anything. I think 90% of those returns were in the first 6 weeks. It doesn't depend on their favoured foot, as far as I'm aware. No. Not on this game, but on other ChampMans or Football Managers. I remember having the opposite foot on that side, so a right footer on the left or a left foot on the right was generally beneficial. I think in this game it's better to have it the other way. So a left-sided centre back, a left-footed winger, a left-footed forward. Generally better. Spurs, they play today, home to Newcastle. Effrington is a few days, 87%. Fortune is a week, 90%. Both of which can play left wing, where Ziga's been playing. So maybe something to monitor. However, I do think Ziga is... He says feels his best position is playing as a wing back. Well, sorry, mate. You fucking hired Alex McLeish as your manager, so you won't be playing wing back anytime soon. So you can give up that little pipe dream. And let's be fair, you were shite as a wing back. Yeah, I mean, Ziga seems to be ahead of both of them at left wing anyway, but something to bear in mind. I thought that was my child about to come in through the door. I need to stop swearing. Watford today away to Bolton. Alba Ferreira 3 months, red injury. Marcus Gale a few days 90%. Hopefully he stays away because I want Petkov set pieces. And Harrison is 2 weeks with knee ligaments. I'm hearing things, I think. Everyone else is okay. So there you go, guys. There is your injury news. So who were the main guys? Villa. Obviously Leeds. A little bit from Liverpool. That's about it, I think. But obviously we've got that whole issue of games to be played and lots of games on Wednesday. So there might be a little bit of a lottery involved. Who'd have thought in ChampMan? It's a Yoki's on the sauce. I couldn't possibly condiment. Oh, come on. That is brilliant. I like that one, David H. McLeish feels Ziga's favourite position is on the bench. Leeds played 5 at the back last season, right? Under David O'Leary. Am I making things up? You are making things up. No, you're making things up. Played 4-4-2 the whole season, mate. The managers don't change from where they go. You played exactly this. Or sometimes fullbacks have arrows and they don't. Sometimes a strike, a dipped forward. It was definitely 4-4-2. Because Ian Hart played, if you remember, most of the time. Kuehl left wing doing nothing. McPhail filled in left wing when Kuehl was injured for a lot of it. Bowyer got taken out of it. So we had Backer playing right wing. Spurs are so negative. Will the manager ever let them off the McLeish? Oh, you guys are too good. 5 at the back, including the goalkeeper. Saved. Well done, John Chanley. Right, let's quickly. I'm rabbiting now, aren't I? Shall I do some predictions for what good it will be? Let's do it. So, Bolton, Watford. That is going to be hopefully a goal fest. With Gardner getting some points, Petkov getting some points. But I will go my standard. There should be goals, but the home team is favourite and slightly better. Therefore, it's a 2-1 or maybe a 3-1 to Bolton. That's what I'm going to go for. Leeds Derby. 3 or 4-0, probably. Let's go 4-0 Leeds. Tottenham Newcastle. God, this could be dire. Newcastle are shocking away. Spurs are just generally pretty bad. A little bit better at home. Maybe 1-0 or 2-0 to Tottenham. I don't think that'll be high scoring. I hope I'm wrong. Hope Shearer does something. Liverpool Charlton. I mean, on paper, Liverpool should batter them, and they can, but it's Liverpool. Heskey's playing though. Should I go 3-0? I'll be brave. I'll say 3-0. I want some goals. There's not been that many goals. We'll go 3-0. It could easily be less than that. A 1-0 or something. Fantasy Connection Leeds 0 Derby 1. Yeah, probably. Millwall Everton. I'm going to go 2-2. I think Millwall are pretty bad and Everton are not great away. But because Millwall are bad, Everton should score. So let's go 2-2. Chelsea Middlesbrough, I've already said 2-0 Chelsea. I think could easily be the other way. Could easily be 1-1. Of course, it could be anything. I sound like a proper pundit on Sky now. It's a game of 2 halves. It could be anything. I'll go 2-0 Chelsea. Blackburn Leicester. I think that's probably a comfortable Blackburn win. I'm going to have quite a lot of clean sheets here, actually. That doesn't really usually happen. Not in TM. Let's go 2-1 Blackburn. Ipswich Manchester United. Let's go 3-0 to Man United. Man City Villa. City are usually pretty good at home and Villa are bad away. So I might back a Man City win. Man City. I've been backing them for home wins for a while and they've just not been doing anything. I'm still going to go for a Man City win. 2-1 maybe. Again, a lot of 2-1s, aren't there? Sorry, guys. Sunderland, Arsenal. This should be interesting because they'll both be attacking. I think Sunderland are attacking at home to Arsenal. Could be normal. Probably attacking, though. Both attacking, so that really could go anywhere. Should we go for goals in this one as well? Let's go 3-3 in that one. Gary Smith, can I see the table, please? Of course you can, Gary. Here you go. Leeds are 5 points clear at the moment. Man United do have a game in hand. Blackburn 12 draws. Bolton got 7. Liverpool have got 8. Rest of the teams, it's usually win or loss. And there's right at the bottom. Millwall are below Charlton now. Bloody hell. Didn't realise that. But they have got a game in hand. Yeah, Charlton Millwall are obviously down. So Derby, Watford, Newcastle scrapping out. Even Man City getting dragged in. Interesting. Palace down. They're 20th. 3 points in it, but they've already played an extra game. Look, risky. There we go then. Thierry Henry's up to second in the average rating. God, a lot of goals. Van Nistelrooy 26 in 30. Madness. Phillips 24 in 31. It feels like they've sneaked up as well. Lots of blanks for him. Thierry Henry now 20 in 26. 6 assists, 7 man of the match and a high average rating. He's finally not a troll anymore. It's great to see. Shearer, there's Dublin. Ridiculous value. There we go. Assists. I feel like assists have been stagnant for a while. Johnston on 13. 7 goals, 13 assists, 20 attacking returns in 30. Very much under the radar again, Johnston. But I suppose the paid is part of the reason there, isn't he? 2 guys well. Ticked along, as everyone always says about him. He certainly has. Stephen Hughes still in 5th. Just hanging on. Dribbles per game. Gardner's leading the way. Yeah, Giggs, McAnuff, Kinney, Zenden, Dyer, all the ones you'd expect really. Tackles. Gareth's now ahead of Sol. Okay. What position am I? I haven't actually checked it for a while, Gary. I am 161st. Look at these game weeks. 1,700, 200, 800, 1,000, 1,400, 700 first, 854, 1,794 fourth. But yeah, not bad. So it's more of an experiment. I obviously had pricing sims, so just to see what could happen. I think that's respectable. That's not bad. Obviously some things I would have changed. I had a lot of Terry injuries. I had Desai miss out. It's always to be expected. Wiley probably ended up being the best 4.5, maybe. So that worked out okay. Shearer's had a few injuries. Yeah, Petkov did well to begin with. Double up on Bolton was awesome at the beginning of the season. So yeah, not too bad. Evans has barely played as I expected, but when he has played, he's generally done me okay. Yeah, probably would have changed in hindsight one of the strikers to a Boxic or a Rickard, and then maybe upgraded one of the midfielders. Like I said, I probably would have had Veron if I knew he'd have stayed for the whole season. Although he's been quiet of late, but if I know Veron is staying the whole season, generally I would have picked him. As it usually goes. Better than me, Ryan. Yeah, I say it's not. I don't take much credit from it. If you lot did the 10 pricing sims, seen all the what's gone on, you'd have picked, well maybe not the same team, but you'd have picked a good team as well and done okay. I'm sure we would have. Right, let me talk about the league quickly. Okay. What do you think about this, guys? This is what I'm proposing. I haven't run this past anyone. I just decided it. So, this is obviously from the last league lineup. So, you're going to have to do some investigation. Obviously, we can post the last league lineups through the scout on the site to make it easier to find them. So you can investigate it. But it clearly speaks for itself, does it not? So let's bring up Leeds, for example. What did they do? So this was their formation last game. That's who they played. Now this won't take into account, therefore, injuries, suspensions, anything. Obviously, Viduka didn't play. You'd probably expect him to play, so all of that's out the window. It's just going to be how many changes from this lineup. So Leeds will obviously be one of these colours. And it's up to you to guess who you think has been changed. Now, some teams, as we know, regularly change a lot of players. So you may see, for example, 3 changes purple, or even 4 or more changes, and it might only be 4, and it's like a Liverpool, for example, who change 3 or 4 players most games, and therefore it's a kind of an expected team, but it might panic you a bit. I don't know. But then obviously you could be panicked because you could think it's a full rep team. So the mystery is there. The mystery is there. So people might like it, people might not like it, but I think that's what we're going to go for. Because then you're going to have to work out, you know, who was injured last game, suspended, what you think's happened. Some teams even change formation when they play home or away. So as a result, there might be players that don't play. Blackburn in the classic one, right? So suddenly if they've got a few changes, you might think, oh, they've changed formation. So Leeds will be minimum yellow. Yeah, so straight away, the fact that Smith and Larson are injured, they'll be yellow. Yeah, it's a minimum. Obviously, this I could have made it so like another layer which says this is definitely a rep game, because I am worried. I don't like people to... There's always that balance. I want to give you guys information. I want to get community talking about various things. At the same time, I don't want to scaremonger. So you might have a team that's red and think they're rep, but they might not, or vice versa. Think, oh, it could just be 3 or 4 changes as a result of these injuries or whatever, and they don't. But it is what it is. I guess we'll just have to see how it works. Of course, I could get to the lineups and there's barely any changes, so there we go. If you've got a team who's red and they're home and it's a rep game, I suppose the alarm bells have to be there, don't they? But then you might have to break it down and think, you know, could it be a red and not a rep game? I suppose it could be. I don't know. We'll see. Not including the bench. Not including rep. Now, I think if I go black flag for a rep, it gives a little bit to it. I mean, it's a lot of info, that is. Especially, right, let's say many of the teams who don't have injuries are green. There's a high chance, for example, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 of the 20 teams are green. That's a lot of information. So I think there has to be a little bit of mystery. Yeah, so Max says there, if Hart and Radaby come back, they'll be red without rep. Yeah, so let's quickly look at that. Yeah, so Hart in here, 1 change, for example. Radaby comes in for Dewberry, 2 changes. Smith and Larson obviously can't play because they're injured. So let's say Viduka comes in, 3 change. Robbie Keane plays up front. Kuehl plays AMC, and then they bring in McPhail. That's 4 changes. They're red, might not rep. You ain't going to know if they're rep or not. Let's see how it goes, guys. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so that's what we're doing. I think that's it from me, guys. I'm boiling hot in this room. Quick open floor. If anyone wants to see anything before we go, you've got 30 seconds. I'll forever hold your peace. How about the idea of a surprise colour? The only issue I've got with this is it might be a little bit too complicated for the casual players to work out, or be bothered to work out what was their last league lineup. Oh, bearing in mind, actually thinking about that, Man United haven't played in the league last week, so it will be their last league lineup, which will be 2 game weeks ago. But that's the one we'll use. Just Premier League lineups. So what I'm saying is we'll need your help in the community. That's very good to get the information out of who you think was their lineup. Was there any crazy lineups this week that didn't make sense? So therefore might be red, but therefore will be their normal lineup this week. Let's have a look. Or Chelsea are a reasonable example as well. Zenden, Desai, Knight. So suddenly if the Good Johnson, Zenden and Desai come in, they're purple, but it could be their first team. Interesting. Right. Catch you guys later. When I'm running sim, always after the stream. Always, Ash. So I shall do it now, and then I'm silent. Leak comes out probably tomorrow, unless Rob's about and wants to do it tonight. Cheers, Luke. Off on your weekly holiday. No, I'm working this weekend. And tomorrow. And tomorrow. Yeah. Right. See you later, guys, boys and girls. Thanks for joining in. It's been a pleasure. Let's get rid of my team and let's end the stream.